On the way. There you go. You are live.
Live. Hey, what's going on, guys?
What is happening?
What's in the boxes first, all the way from Europe?
Whoa. Saturn V live from Minnesota. Jeff Walters in the house. Jeff Brown's in the house. Ed's in the house. Dirt Burger's in the house. Who else is in here? Decker. Go Mango, as you say.
Yeah, go mango.
Go Mango.
Mangrove. That's one thing. We had the mangrove fish. And
Yeah.
the guy was talking about people that call them mango fish. He's like, they're not mango fish, they're mangroves. Florida.
Florida.
Yeah.
So my ESCs, I'm already running into problems. I'll get to why I have a problem right now in a second. But I generally use double-sided heavy-duty Velcro for my ESC, like the hard plastic Velcro. It like clicks together.
Click. Yeah.
This is the first one I didn't use double-sided hardcore Velcro, and I used real tape. And now I'm kicking myself because I also directly soldered it to the motor. And so I went to go put the My Trick RC light kit in my son's Halo truck.
Yeah.
And I put the Night Custom interior in his truck, and I went to go set it down on the body or on the chassis, and I was like, oh,
You
cool.
need to move it.
The transmission needs to be rotated 180 degrees. But that's not that big of a deal on an Element, except I have overdrive built into my transmission, so that now I have to...
It's going to flip it. You need to underdrive it.
I need to take apart the whole transmission and rebuild it. So here's my handy dandy little pocket thing. Yeah, that sucks.
Jeff Brown says, Tony looks sunburned. I am a little sunburned.
So how warm is it down there?
It was like 76, something like that. Today. Nice. It was nice.
That is nice. Oh, that's so nice. I was going to go on a hike.
It was very nice. It was cold this morning, so we went on a fishing excursion.
What's cold?
Out on the... Well, it was like 40 when we went out this morning on the boat. Well, I mean, you're on a boat out, going 40 some miles an hour.
Sure.
That's cold enough at 60 degrees. So
yeah,
it was an interesting day for having to try to choose what to wear. But yeah.
Yep.
Sunscreen was one of those things I did not choose to wear.
Your Alaska Hard Gear shirt, I was actually contemplating writing them today, seeing if they wanted to sponsor a video, because I've worn Duluth stuff for years. I mean, maybe since they came, I don't know. I feel like maybe since they came out, I don't know how old they are, but I've been wearing it for years. Maybe, I don't know. I don't know how long, but for a long time. So yeah.
So you want to try the Alaskan Hard Gear stuff?
I have it. I have their stuff too. Yeah, no, my hiking coat, it's like a light raincoat that I think this might even be Alaska Hard Gear. I don't know, but it's either that or Duluth. All this stuff fits me just right because it fits my shoulders and my arms where most shirts don't. So it's very nice. Very nice. So what's new, dude?
We're here already. We're early for USTE.
Yeah.
Figured we'd I'd sneak in a vacation for my kids.
Nice.
So, since I had to make the drive anyway. Yep.
Nice.
Thought, I'll bring the family along. And so they're going to hang out here, enjoy the warmer weather. Yeah. My son's like, I haven't sweat in weeks. Telling complete strangers this on the boat today. Like, cool.
Cool story, bro.
He's excited to sweat. Good deal. But yeah, so I mean, we had an awesome time out. Caught, I don't know, we caught a bunch of fish.
Yeah.
Not all of them were keepers. We kept some. We got a freezer full of like sheephead, not lake sheephead, like the convict style ocean ones, which are supposed to be some really tasty fish. So that we had trout, sea trout, and a bunch of stuff. My son caught a puffer fish, which came out of the water and went.
Yeah, that's cool.
I caught a puffer and he didn't puff up. He just was like, "I'm tough, dude. Like, I'm not afraid of you."
You don't want none of this.
So, yeah. I mean, we had a great time. We were out there for 6 hours on the water.
Yeah.
Yeah, full 8-hour day out. Like by the time the guy filleted up everything, and it was awesome. So now we planned in a rest day to kind of, in case I was sore from being out on the boat or whatever, that I'd have a rest day before I have to lug around my huge camera all weekend. So,
did you bring the big boy?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. Look at that.
All set up, ready to go.
Nice.
I wanted to make sure I had all the cables and stuff, so I set it up ahead of time. So, I mean, I have the big boy. I've got GoPros. I've got my drone. I've got a GH5 and a gimbal, and the one that you shot on the other Panasonic. I mean, I got a ton of stuff. There's cameras everywhere in here.
Is that a 9 or a 10 or 11?
9.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm seriously contemplating the 11. I
don't seriously contemplate any of them. When I leave one of them in a parking lot or I get one destroyed.
Well, I just mean because I already have I have a 7 black, and I like it, but I want to upgrade, but I was waiting until there was enough disparity in between the two of them. So yeah.
I'm missing what they're saying in the chat.
Still loving the podcasts. Psycho Garage is in.
Dano. Oh yeah,
Wood handle and all.
Back in doesn't look 12 anymore. Yeah, that's what it was. Especially the 18 now. That's what.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny. That's awesome. So did you bring the entire fam, or is it just the boys' trip?
Nope. The whole family's here.
Nice.
And yeah, we've got all our suitcases and luggage and gear and all that packed up.
Nice.
And,
so
totes and fly OGO bags and Pelicans and way too much stuff.
That's
the only RCs I brought. Now it's the Ultimate Scale Truck Expo. Hopefully none of them are watching. So, the only truck I brought was the Vanquish Phoenix RTR.
Nice. So speaking of which, Jeff Brown just said he already sold an RTR. I think that thing looks rad. The more I look at it, the more I'm like, this looks like a pretty cool vehicle. I'm excited to build the other one, the actual kit. So I was watching Hemistorm,
which I haven't mailed yet.
That's fine.
I meant to get in the mail before I left, but I was rushing.
No worries. I was watching Hemistorms. That's the only reason that I brought it up. Hemistorm's review on the RTR. He was saying it's so much, you gain a respect when you build the kit for that truck, but then to be able to have it already built is so much nicer. So
yeah, I think the transmission, especially for some people, can be intimidating.
Yeah,
I didn't have to build a transmission for it. For the I mentioned in my video that I'd already built one, but I didn't actually have to build the transmission.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very capable. I can't believe the turning radius out of the box, how well it turned.
Yeah.
When I had it on the course. So yeah, I brought it because all I had was, snow footage and, the stuff of reaction. And I was hoping to get maybe some cool, like, beauty shots of it. So it's not going to be my main thing. It's like, if I get to, I get to. Even if it's just around this Airbnb, there's a bunch of stuff on the grounds here. So
nice. Yeah, I was trying to get out today. So I was going like stink the last couple weeks, just going like crazy, trying to get my projects done and just dealing with all kinds of stuff. And I finally finished it late Friday night. I was on an install, finished all my stuff. And then Saturday I played a little bit, but Sunday I was like beat. Like it all hit me Sunday. Like
Dude, that install looked so good.
Thanks, man. Yeah, my shoulders were killing me. I was like, and they're still tight. They're still like sore. And so I was like, oh, brutal. But I was going to try to walk it off today because the weather looked like it was going to be good on the. So I have 2 hikes that I consider trail fails. One was that waterfall that we didn't make it to because of the snow. And the other one was one that my whole family went on and we ran out of daylight. So I didn't summit. So I was like, I was going to go and do it. And all the pictures from all trails were showing that there's snow at the top a lot still. So I was like, okay. So I was like, okay, no big deal. You know, they all said it's only like the last mile or half mile or so that's snowy. So I was like, no big deal. And then I had a board meeting last night. And as I'm walking out of the board meeting, it's dumping snow. And I was like, and the elevation that I was going to is much higher. So I was like, nope.
Even more snow. Yeah.
Yeah. So I scratched for today. Hopefully maybe I can get it in on Friday, but the weather's not looking great. And this one is one of those that's like the last mile and a half or so is a kind of a hard scramble where you're actually really climbing. And so I'm like, oh, I don't know. Pablo must be old as hell. Look how white his hair. Yep. Old man time right here.
You got your 10-year minus.
Yeah.
Track 10 years with the flat bill hat, they say.
I know, right? Yeah, I'm not wearing that one today.
Quickly going back to the Vanquish, I think, and taking it out, I think one of the crazy things is the price that they were able to get it in at. So
yes,
I mean, for a ready to run with the features that it has, even not all of them fully working yet,
that's huge.
Amazing.
Yeah, like I think
the tires are really good. I think, at least.
I actually like the wheel. I mean, I haven't seen one in person, but I actually like the wheels too. Like the wheels look nice. Okay. Like they look for being an RTR wheel.
At least it's a beadlock.
Yeah, the whole thing. It just seems like the value seems there for sure. Like no question to me, the value seems there. But
and they didn't skimp. Like, you know, you would have saved a little and made it like for like $450 and took out the bearings. But I know.
you see? Yeah,
bushings, he says.
You saw the channel art. Too bad Harley's not in yet. If he is, I don't know. But Harley, look at the channel art closely. You'll see that the wheels definitely have bearings in them. So,
but one of the funny things is they were counting how many ready to runs versus kits they had. And here Vanquish dropped something, and it should have ticked up the number for kits, and it didn't. It ticked up the RTR number, and then Axial dropped a kit of all, a comp kit of all things.
Yeah. Like, so what's your 2 cents on that?
I still would have sent you the SCX10 for what you're building. I think anyway. Sure. I don't think that chassis would have worked for it. I think it's cool.
Yeah.
It's I think the best thing about it is for me, the whole thing with building a comp rig is, one, it's not my main thing. And so trying to figure out all the right pieces to buy from like G-Speed or Rock Pirates, or you're trying to like, well, then which one of this? And then you got to buy all these different components as you're trying to do it, or CNC your own, or, there's it's not just like a plug and play, now let's go comp, like, in, a decent class, where this makes it easier, where you can at least get it started with everything they have in a box. Right. And it gives you kind of a low slung. I thought it was interesting that it was on straight axles, because a lot of the comp rigs I see people running up here will do portals because of the big rocks that they tend to run on.
Yeah.
So that was interesting. I don't think it's bad. I prefer straight axles, honestly, so I like it.
Yeah.
I wish Traxxas would come out with a straight axle rig, because I think especially like their lifted mud trucks would be awesome. Like,
yeah, that would be
75% more awesome if they had straight axles.
Yep. Agreed.
But
Agreed. Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent to, I mean, I guess, I don't know. I'm kind of indifferent to the whole chassis thing. The construction of the axles look nice. I wanted to actually look up what the advantage of the Penn style shocks are, because Element went to that too. And I don't really understand what the advantage of that is. Like, aside from changing your what's it called? Your negative droop or whatever it is. I don't really, but you can tune that with changing your shock placement and changing your shock pack, like how you build it. So I don't know. I know Deluxe had a really nice shock and everyone loved it. So I don't know if they just copied it because it was something that people liked. But other than that, the other thing I don't really know much about is that transmission for comping, because I'm not sure what the rules are, but I thought you can't have any changeable transmission in C2. Maybe you can.
A lot of times they just make you lock it in and not change.
Right.
You know,
I just mean for in the essence of them being what it is, like,
right.
You know, they probably could have saved quite a bit by just doing a normal 10-2 ish 3-gear and going from there. But I don't know. I mean,
don't know. I think that they just figure some of the classes are probably going to just start changing stuff, and it's ready to go if they want. You can lock it out. You don't have to run it.
Sure.
So might as well have the option ready to unlock if the classes are like, all right, we're going to let you do dig, or all right, you can have, selectable overdrive, whatever that kind of stuff is.
Right.
Who knows? As it becomes more the norm, they may or may not change rules for it. Who knows?
Yeah.
You never know who. And again, it all comes down to who's running them and whose rules they're going to run. And there's a whole lot of that goes on. So.
Yeah. No, for sure. I can't knock it at all. It's and for me, it's interesting because, like, I'm a builder, right? So for me, it's like, I don't know if I want a pre-curated kit, but it's nice. If it was like super cheap, it'd be a slam dunk. You know what I mean? But I can't.
Right.
I
actually didn't see the price point on it, so that's one thing I don't know.
I thought I'm not sure, but I thought it was like $4 something.
Okay.
And for
some
kit,
people in here would know what's going on. Texoma RC. Cody Vanberg said he's ordering one for sure. So does he know the kit price? Maybe.
Yeah, I thought I heard it was in the 4s, and I could be wrong, but I mean, in the 4s for a kit with no wheels, no body, $430. David Ferris says that seems a little steep for a kit to me. Like, that doesn't come with wheels, tires, or a body.
So it basically comes almost set up like they're ready to run with some of the features in the transmission.
But no electronics.
But no electronics or wheels or tires or body.
Yeah. Or body.
And you have to build it.
And you have to build it. So to me, it seems a little pricey.
It doesn't have like the C-channel chassis. It has more of the comp flat plate, which, love or hate, a lot of those guys do it.
Yeah. No. I mean, to my point, as I think that it's a new, like, it's hard for me because I look at that 10-2 kit and it's dirt cheap, but you're definitely getting what you pay for in that 10-2 kit when it comes to shocks and it comes to the old tranny and all that kind of stuff. But you throw basically the same axles in, same transmission in, because you can only lock it out for the most part in some of the comps.
Mm-hmm.
And then you buy your own flat rail chassis and you're still cheaper than what the kit is. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I don't know. It seems and here's the reason why I can't knock it at all. I mean, aside from the price being a little expensive, but I can't knock it at all because there's new parts. It's not just the old parts kind of thrown into a kit.
Yeah.
So
there's new costs generated with that.
Yeah. And so
and it's probably not as big a run. So that's also going to increase cost.
Right.
Because the comp kit guys are not it's not a huge group.
Yep.
The people in it want to think that it's very popular because they're part of it. And I feel the same way about monster trucks.
Sure.
But it's really not like a huge niche in the industry, like compared to other things.
Yeah.
So it's definitely smaller quantities, which is also going to drive costs. So some people are saying Ultra kits are $900. Phoenix kits are $400, and Phoenix kits come with a body, wheels, and tires.
Right. And it's a lot more mechanical than what that kit is, meaning all the different gear transmission options, all that kind of stuff.
He said it's pretty close to the VFD, the new one. Josh said it was pretty close to the idea behind how the VFD.
Yeah, but it doesn't have all the options, is what I'm saying. It doesn't have the rear lockout.
Oh yeah.
That's all I mean. So Crazy 4KVs RC says, I'm with Pablo on this. 430 is a bit steep for me. Unproven trans axles, etc. It's targeting those getting into the comp scene, but 430 plus cost to finish it. I worry it'd be too expensive for them. I don't think it'll be too expensive for them because I saw someone else say, you double that when it comes to comp build. I agree and disagree with that. I think that you can do a pretty good comp build for cheap.
People do it with the Element ones all the time. So
that's what I was just going to say. Yeah. So I was just going to say, you can buy an Element kit for like $220 something, I think. I don't know how much they are, but the Enduro kit for that, and then get your flat rail chassis, and you're still under $300 for a complete truck, except for wheels and electronics and your stuff. But if you're comping, odds are you're going to have your radio already. You're going to have a motor already selected for it, all that kind of stuff. So I don't know. Like I said, I guess one thing that I would agree with is that some of that stuff is unproven for that price, but it is Axial and they make good products. So I can't really, knock on that.
Yeah. I mean, like people are saying, the videos I saw of it, the climbing angles and some of that was pretty impressive.
Yep.
For it. But again, that all is going to come to setup on how the person set it up, wheels, tire options that they chose.
Yeah.
So like if it
was me doing it with the Hustlers, I could climb up anything. But if it's you doing it with the Hustlers, it's like you couldn't get over a pebble.
Nope.
You're like, these tires
We don't have fake rocks. We don't have fake rocks on the East Coast.
Dude, so Saturday.
Pour grape soda on your course before you go out. I've seen you.
So Saturday, I got to play for a minute, and I took that Bezgar truck out. I don't know where I put it.
Oh yeah, that little guy.
Bro, that thing is bananas. It is like it's overpowered. Like it's overpowered.
They're showing their stuff. They're just like 540 in this little guy. Let's go.
Yeah, like I wish we would have had that when I did my little the Enduro 24 thing, because I would have put that power plant in there and just boogied with it. But that thing is wicked fast on 3S. We turned it down to this. It's got a selectable thing where you could turn it down to like 75% or whatever. And it was still really fast. I mean, it's like you're doing, if I don't know speed, but you're doing probably 20 miles an hour, and then you hit the throttle and it picks the front wheels up and wheelies. Like it's impressive. The thing is, it's a little hard to drive because it's so hot. So I think if you did 2S on full power, it'd be a lot of fun to drive. But it was pretty cool. And then I took out my Bug, my Bisho Sendero. That thing, I was super impressed with that thing, dude.
Yeah.
That thing was creeping over everything. And I got to set up the steering a little bit differently because the steering, I actually flipped one of the linkages over and it didn't work out. So I got to flip it back and then it should be great. But yeah, I'm excited for that one. That's the one that I'm taking on trails with me to go like these long hikes because it's a little lighter.
Which one was it?
The Bug
The
with
new,
my,
your Bug one, yeah.
yeah.
The Sendero, yeah.
Yep. So, and then I drove that, and then I drove my Sendero SE, just in my backyard a little bit, and it was good. It was funny seeing the difference between an LCG short wheelbase, super creepy crawly motor compared to the Enduro SE. It was like night and day, but it's still fun.
Yeah. Somebody was asking if I was, as Brian Koshner asked if I got the Axial Pro, SCX10 Pro, and I didn't. And I'm seeing this. I'm reading Jeff Walters' comments. He wants to do 1/10 comp, but he had too many rigs as it is that are not built, and that's the same. Like that's one of the reasons I can't even think about building something right now with all the other things that I haven't built yet.
Yeah.
So that's my thoughts on it. It's like I wish it was a roller kit like the LMT roller was instead of pre-assembled.
That was one of the things that Red Cat did that they phased out that I think if it came back to market now, they'd make a killing on. They did. I don't know if you remember, they had the Gen 8 roller kit and it was dirt cheap and it was just a pre-assembled truck and you just put wheels on it and a body and you're ready to go. Or wheels, body, and electronics and you're ready to go.
Yep.
We
bought them and comped them on a camping trip, guys, weekend, RC guys. We went away and this guy bought two of them and we split into two groups and we got to add from like our parts bins, motors, whatever.
Yeah.
Body, and then we just comped them. And dude, it was the first I'd ever driven one and I was pretty impressed with it. That's why I ended up buying the Gen 8 when they came out with the Scout, because I thought the Scout was super cool. So
it is a cool truck. We still have one, or a chassis. We have the body too, I guess, but we never use it. But yeah, he said 169 is what that price point was. It was dirt cheap.
Yeah. That's really good. And a roller. So, I mean, we just, in an hour, built it up and we were off playing.
Yep.
We had a blast.
I think the Red Cat, that's who I started with. I think the Red Cat's a very underestimated. The
one thing, though, that they got was because it broke more than others when it came to the knuckle at the time and then the panhard mount, right? Wasn't that the...
I never really broke those. What I broke, and you broke it once and you replaced it with the HD, was the CVA joint.
That's it.
In the portal gear, where the portal CVA went into the portal gear, it would snap off the sleeve. And then they came out with the HD one, which just had a lot more meat around it. And once you did that, I wouldn't say they're indestructible, but I mean they were like way more solid of a truck. And they did awesome.
All right, Fishbill, I want to answer this real quick. I got to take an RC out this past week and also burn up two SCX24 motors. They shouldn't burn up. If they're burning up, you probably have your wheel nuts tightened all the way down. On SCX24s, it's dumb. It shouldn't be this way. It should have been fixed and addressed after the first batch of them went out. But for some reason, if you tighten down the wheel nuts all the way to where you normally would tighten a wheel nut just to make sure it doesn't come off of a car, it locks up the axles and creates a whole bunch of extra wear for your motor. It's it gets so hot, you'll burn it up in 15 to 20 minutes if you do that. Like literally, it'll just kill motors left and right. Yeah. So you cannot tighten down. It'll burn up my motors. It'll burn up the baby glass. It'll burn up any motors if you do that. You have to just a little bit tight and then back off. There needs to be almost a little wiggle in that wheel just to make sure that the wheel nuts aren't, or the hexes are not pushing onto the bearings and the axles and just binding it up.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta watch that. All of mine are loose. If you pick up the tire, they're just loose. I basically take it, now this is stock wheels, to where the threading is just at the same level as the edge of the wheel nut, because it'll totally destroy motors. Did it one time, realized what it was like, and I could feel like how slow it was too. That was the difference. So I just started backing them off because I realized how much faster it went. And then I realized that's why I'm burning up motors. I hadn't seen any videos on it.
Right.
But yeah, it'll cause you some issues and cost you. Luckily, the motors are cheap, but it's not fun to just have to keep switching them out.
Well, that's what sucked when they first came out, is that it was during that whole, it was hard to find parts for them. Remember when and then you'd buy a motor and then you'd be like, you couldn't find motors. Like that was the problem with us here. We couldn't find a motor. Like I remember we burned one out and we couldn't find a motor, but we could find the barrage motor. So we had to switch them over to the barrage motors when we had them. And then finally all that stock stuff caught up with it. So
yeah, it's one of those things I keep saying to people: don't tighten the wheel nuts all the way. Every video I feel like I mention it. Yeah, when talking about it.
There's a brand. I don't remember what the brand is, but they have the CVD joints for the front, and they have a longer thread on the end of the hub, so you can actually get your whole. That's the problem. The nylock nut doesn't get all the way past the thread, so if you back it out, it'll back off eventually. So these ones have a little bit longer of a thread, so you can get your nylock all the way on, but still back it off, so it has that little bit of play. I wish I knew what brand it was. Ross RC Crawler showed me them.
What's going on, Kevin Gibbs? Jack is in the house. What's going on, Jack? He's here for banter, but clicked on the wrong channel.
Nice. Electric RC. Hello. I'm looking forward to Josh and Matt's Porsche Dakar build. Very cool. So one thing I wanted to touch on, you messaged me, said we had some more donations for the.
Yes, I have it pulled up here actually.
Nice.
Yep. And we're so about 575 in on that already.
That is awesome, guys.
I had somebody cancel on Friday that I was going to be live with before I left. And so I messaged Jerk, and so he just came on with me like last minute. We just did it live because I was up anyway and done packing. And we got donations for that too. So that day we got another 60. So on the 11th. So we got Blue Crush, Unknown RC, and Troy Posey.
Nice.
And then after we did the live stream on the 7th, we got Travis Paul had done a PayPal donation of $100, and then also DSM Off Road.
Sweet.
Dropped in, yeah. Rob,
thanks, guys.
From there, did it for $100.
So just to catch up, people that might not know, we're planning on building an SCX6 beam truck with a caged rear, kind of like a pre-runner truck. And we're going to hand it off to Operation 11 Charlie so that they can do what they want to do with it and raise money for their outfit. And we'll be.
He's kicking around ideas already. I talked to him today. He thinks it's awesome.
Cool. Yeah. So I'll be documenting that whole build process, like from design to actual welding, finishing, all that kind of stuff. So it should be pretty dope. Defined beam truck. So twin beam front suspension.
Yeah, and I have Casey. I mentioned Casey earlier, but Casey Dolph put in $200 via PayPal.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Sweet, dude.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. That's awesome. Yeah, so we're
David
getting
Ferris says
close.
define beam truck.
That's
He's
yeah.
asking. Yeah.
Twin beam axle. So the front end will be 2-wheel drive. It's got twin beams on it, which basically have different heim joints on it. So it allows the suspension to really droop. So you get to see, like, you see on a lot of like desert trucks where they jump and then the front end just goes whoop and it like just totally hangs down. It's a pretty cool thing. I'm interested to see how it's going to work on something that heavy. But yeah, it should be pretty rad. Dude, I am just now feeling my palm. I had a little bit of an accident at work. You can't really see it, but this whole area was bruised.
I can
So,
see on the inside of your finger, it looked like.
oh, dude, it's like, oh, it hurts so bad. So I have these C clamps that are, they're like vice grip clamps. And I was on a ladder reaching through and I clamped it. And my wife was there at the shop late with me working, finishing the project. I clamped it, but it clamped onto the pad of my finger and just bit it, like just completely bit down on it. And I couldn't get out of it. Like I was like, oh my God, I'm stuck. And so I had to like balance and reach around and try to, because my wife couldn't undo the clamp because it was on so tight. So I had to reach around and try to pop it out. And I popped it out and it was just this huge, like deep bruise on my palm. And it's like just now starting to hurt. And it's like, oh, underneath the callus there. Brutal.
Ugh.
Brutal. I just noticed it because I touched it and I was like, ooh. So, ooh, there's that. So, but yes, thank you.
Say hi to Braxton. I'm seeing him, but yeah, keep going.
I was going to say thank you to all that are contributing to that. So if you don't know, you can go to Tony's website, ccxrc.com, contribute through PayPal. Also you can contribute through super chats here if you want. And all that dough is going to go towards that build. We're going to cap it. What did we say? Cap it at 1,300?
1,300 is what we're trying to get to for the build supplies. Yeah.
So the other thing is it's the body, or I'm sorry, it's the truck, tax, and the body has we're going to use the Proline K10 for it. And so I think we were talking offline about, do we go just the cab or do we go cab and hood? What do you guys think? Tony thinks cab and hood. I don't know if
he was showing somewhere it was just, you see the metal like cage all up in the front. The cage design, the whole front end of it.
Yep. So
it looked cool, but
yeah,
it's a lot of money to spend for a body you're not going to use.
Yeah, I know. Yep, I know. And if I had a bigger 3D printer, I'd print the body. You know what I mean?
Just I mean, it looks cool for the RC car, but most of the trucks I see running have full clips on the front end. So
yep.
It is cool to see the behind the scenes, but it'd be nice to have it so that it could be covered, and it just looks so good because you focus on the suspension drop out of it.
Hadfield says cab and hood. I'd say cab and hood, but do a pole. I don't know how to do poles. I think we're probably going to stick around the cab and the hood. I mean, I don't know if I'd say it's less work for me, because I'm going to build an interior cage for it. So it's like I'm going to be deep in.
They're doing the work anyway.
Yeah, I'm going to be.
It'd be cool if somehow it came off.
The problem with that,
if you could almost do like the Lego clips that clip onto the middle.
Yeah, well, a couple of my builds have screws that hold the bodies on, like, and so not like the low C stuff, but a little bit different. And so I was thinking about doing something like that. The problem is that when you cut the front clip off and you bolt it on, they never line up with the, you know what I mean?
They look funny. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm like, I'd rather keep it all or take it off. So,
but if you take it off, then you got to build like a firewall and a whole bunch of other stuff.
Yeah. Well, I got to build a firewall anyway because I'm planning on doing an interior. Yeah. Black Market asked which body. I'm planning on the K10 body. So should be a cool old school look. It would be really cool. I thought about printing the wide fenders for it because I can print like the pre-runner fender excuse me, pre-runner fenders for it. Yeah, UDR cage underneath the body for sure.
Yeah.
Yep. So with beams, yeah, it's going to be a total crazy build, black market.
SCX6, big, heavy.
Big, heavy. I want to see that thing before it goes out and before I put the body on. I'm sending it. Like I'm gonna, because I want to make sure it's not going to break. Like I'm gonna. Oh,
you got to see the front end drop too.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, video. Here's another thing. Spec RC has agreed to make a set of custom wheels for the SCX6.
Wow.
Yeah. So those are going to be on this build too. So it's going to be, I haven't reached out to some of the other people yet, but yeah, those are some impressive wheels to throw on an SCX6. So I am very excited about that. Should look pretty cool. I think we're probably just going to keep the stock tires on it. It'd be cool to go more, but it's like, I don't know how much money we want to throw at it. You know what I mean? Like maybe if it's built and it looks funny with the tires, we can do a poll and raise the rest for the tires. I don't know. I don't even know how much tires cost for a truck like that. So
I know that they make landmines for it.
Yep. Well, they make the tusks for it too.
Yeah.
They make the tusk, and I thought they made a BFG for it. So it says get the body, make a mold, and have Tony vacuum some fenders. There you go. You'd have to get your vacuum former up and running again. That'd be pretty sweet though.
The little one still works.
Yeah.
I think you can do fenders.
That'd be pretty rad. I could 3D print some fenders and have you vacuum form them and then bolt them on. That would be sick.
I think the 3D print would almost be stronger though than the PET G.
Yeah. Jeff Brown says 45 a pair for Hyrex. 45.
So it's about $90.
Yeah, it's not too bad. But yeah, I'm excited for that one.
See who.
Huh?
We'll see what we can do for tires. I think we can have some options depending on what people want.
Yep. What else is
Travis Paul? I can't. Oh, sorry. Travis Paul says I haven't played with the big form yet. I have it plugged in. I can heat it all up. I can't for some reason get it to drop the pulleys to drop the area for the form.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at right now, and I haven't had time to mess with it. It's all I had it all wired up, had it all. We've tested the vacuum, everything, but I can't get it to drop the. I can't get the pulleys for it. I don't know if there's something I got some button combo I need to do.
Yeah.
There's automatic, not automatic, different things, but I can't even just in other modes do the up down and have it and drop it for me to mess with it. So
you're saying you can't drop it like it's hot, Tony?
Can't drop it like it's hot. It's hot. So I can't drop it like it's hot. So that's the only bummer with that so far, because I need to get it. If I could get that running, that would open up a whole lot of cool opportunities. But all of it is so time consuming, and it's mainly the mold part of it. Like
right.
That whole side of it. If I wouldn't mind doing all the rest of it if I could get good molds made.
Sure.
And so that's where I want to invest. I need to have some stuff drawn up for some bodies that I would want to run, and then go from there. I don't mind some of the other side of it.
Speaking of drawing stuff up, my daughter and I watched a YouTube channel called Nerd Forge. I don't know if anyone in here.
Oh, so good.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw her last one about her prosthetic finger that she made. It was so rad. Like, it was so rad. Yeah, and so we started binging her other videos, and we found one that they were doing a 3D modeling program called Blender. And I've ran across Blender before. I didn't know it was free. And so I looked it up, and so me and my daughter are probably going to learn that 3D program together. And what the cool thing about Blender is that if I bring in a 3D body, I can sculpt and pull and do all that kind of fun stuff rather than actually having mathematical geometry, which is tough. But yeah, I'd be really interested in playing with that.
So you could just do it to what you think looks good.
Mm-hmm.
If it's already starts with the right shape,
right?
Overall, you can mess with it. That's cool.
Yeah. So I just downloaded it today. So I'm gonna see if I can import a 3D body and see if I can fatten out the fenders. I started printing the body for my Whoopacabra on Saturday, I think it was Saturday morning, and I clicked it, left it, looked at my thing the next morning, and it was moving, but no filament had come out after like a half inch of print. And I was like, I thought my hot end went out, and I went there, and for some reason the filament broke where it goes into the extruder, and that was the only
Sounds like
problem.
probably was a filament wrap wrong.
Yeah.
Sometimes when they wrap the filament, it
just pulls on it. Yeah.
Pulls over the. Yeah, it's not a good wind.
Yep.
I've had that happen once before.
I was like, but the crappy thing is this build or this. So this is the front clip. I made it with flared fenders on it. So I can only print half of the front clip at a time. And it's a 2-day, 7-hour print. So I was like, I just lost all that time. So now it's printing again, and hopefully it'll last. 2 days is a long time for half a clip.
That's a lot of, yeah.
So it's like crossing my fingers.
You have all the stuff printed for mine, right? Now?
Yes. I'll show a teaser of the hood. Oh, baby. I showed you the hood, right?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Better than the filament coming out like spaghetti. Yeah.
Yes.
I'd rather break and shut off.
So this isn't glued in yet because I'm going to wait to glue it in until it's painted.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So I made it in 2 parts so that it'll actually have like a volume to it. And
yeah,
I think it'd be cool to hide a little LED in there just for you.
Oh, so glow. And just to tick me off that I have a light issue.
Yeah.
It used to glow. It doesn't anymore.
Yeah.
The first run, it stopped.
But look at that.
Yeah, that's nice.
That's a cool. I mean, the print is just. There's no touch up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where am I? Over here. Look at that. No touch up. Done.
Ender. There you go.
Ender 3 Pro. I looked them up and they're like $229. Remember we were being asked about that?
Tanker T68 says the Overture filament I got on Amazon does that all the time. And that actually used to be the Amazon filament. The Overture is what I've been told.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, it does have a lot of issues with that.
There's your
that
cab.
Looks really good.
So I don't know if you can tell, but I chopped it a little bit. So normally they're a little taller.
Yeah, you shortened it.
Yeah, I chopped it just
You did that
just to make it look better.
Editing though, before printing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So, booyah. Looks pretty cool.
Really good.
Yeah. So it's I was gonna try to maybe glue it together tonight. We'll see.
And that's what, 7 days of printing for that one?
At least. Yeah.
Okay.
At least. I think we were closer to 7 or 9. I don't remember.
Sheesh.
So yeah, it's a long day. But that one, what you just saw, the cab there, that's actually 2 pieces.
Right.
So
yeah. And then the hood and all that stuff.
Yep.
I'm only using Hatchbox now. That's what I use, Tanker T68. Haven't ever had issues with Hatchbox. In fact, I had Overture here from another 3D printer I got because I was told to use it. That's what somebody used all the time. And so I got it with the last printer I bought and had nothing but bad luck, especially the white stuff. The white was awful.
Yeah.
So I I had some of the black left over, and when I ran out of Hatchbox when I was making all those send mounts, because when I first showed the video and that, and all those Jegs trucks came out, I mean, I had like pre-order of 100 of them I had to get through.
That's
And I told
crazy.
people like I was going to try and get through, you know, all of them by January 2nd. Well, because of Christmas, New Year, I couldn't get my Hatchbox back in stock for like, I don't remember how many days, 5 days. So I'm like, well, I'll just keep using this Overture. Like, what could go wrong, right?
Yeah.
One out of every, I'd print 6 at a time. One out of every one had air bubbles on the first layer. Like,
Oh,
just
really?
it looked deformed. So
Yeah.
I couldn't use those. So, and then they were breaking. So there's probably air bubbles that I couldn't see that were happening inside of them,
Mm,
either from it pulling and doing that thing and not getting the right amount of filament through because it was not feeding it fast enough because it was binding in the spool, or I don't use it anymore.
so
I just threw the rest away.
so I use a couple different things to make mine smoother. I use a different filament. The filament I use is called VO3D, and apparently it's supposed to have it's a stronger PLA. And
Yeah.
I say apparently because I've used it for a year and a half solid now, and I haven't had any problems with it. Like zero problems with it breaking, zero problems with, I mean, that it should have broke, you know what I mean? Like zero problems with breaking. It prints super smooth. But the other thing that I do is I use a Capricorn tube. It's the tube that goes from your extruder to the hot end, and that made a huge difference. And
Yeah.
I have a better extruder too, but oh yeah, it makes a huge difference. And that I mean that stuff I mean everything I print just prints super nice with that stuff. I mean I use this weekend. The
Nice for your
the
gates.
yeah,
I need to try that. I have that filament still, and I need to try it in my Prusa. I
yeah.
haven't tried it in the Prusa yet.
Well,
So
I
I've
think
had to
it's
just run black was the thing. Like everything
yeah,
that I've done has been ordered for black. So
yep. I think it's one of those things where it's just like anything else. Once you get it dialed for your machine, it's just going to print awesome. You know, whatever printer you do, it's going to, once you get it dialed, it's going to be dialed. So like I've been using this for a year and a half and it's dialed and I set it and forget it. Like
yeah,
that break was the first time I've had a print fail in probably 8 months. And the only time I had a print fail aside from that was adhesion at the bottom.
yeah.
Like it just
Oh, where
for
it came
some,
off and then
yeah, yep,
yeah,
yep.
yeah. But yeah, Hatchbox has been.
It's a good,
It feels very good. It feels very similar to what you sent me as
yeah,
far as the quality when I actually get the prints out.
yep,
Um, so it's what worked for me way back in the day, and so it's been the name that I've always just kind of gravitated to.
yep.
Um,
It's a really good stuff.
but it's not cheaper than
No,
like you can get Overture for half the price of
yep,
Hatchbox,
yep,
and so you get tempted by that, but
yep.
you get what you pay for is what it really boils down to.
Radioactive scale RC is saying Solutech. So I've used Solutech before and I liked it. Certain colors really behave differently for what I used out of Solutech. What I did like about Solutech, they have a translucent. It's cheap. It's like $20, $25 or something like that for a big spool. And it's translucent. That's what I did the front of the Frankenwagon with. So it's like you can put a light to it and it'll glow, but it's not transparent. It's pretty cool. Very cool. That's what I'm printing at as well. Radio also spools. Always spool issues for me.
Honestly, saying Overture and gray, and they turn on. I find that gray works better in general.
Yep.
The something about black is tougher, and I think that's where. So the
Takes
Overtures
higher
I had,
heat.
Overture gray was good. Overture white was terrible, like
Yeah.
very terrible, like very. gelatinous, almost weird
Mm-hmm.
way it blended. And then the black just had those weird anomalies where I would get the gaps on the bottom, or but the spooling is one of the really big issues. It's all over it's over the top of itself a bunch of times in each
Yeah.
roll, and
Yeah.
so that's the main thing. Where the hatchbacks are like straight
In a
across,
line. Yeah.
like
Yeah.
perfectly, like tight.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep. And that's so, to the defense of the VO3D stuff, that was a brand new spool, so I didn't even check to see if it was overlap. Like when I unhooked it, I didn't
yeah.
even check to see if it was overlapped. So I guess that could have been an
And that
issue.
might not have even been it. It could have been anything, honestly.
Yeah. The
But
one thing that
that's what I noticed when that would happen with mine. With the other one was
yeah.
you'd look and you literally see it in the box still,
Yeah.
where it couldn't unwind and it
Yep.
just snapped.
One thing that's a big difference too that I've noticed is the colors really make a difference for temperature. So
Yep.
like if you are printing in black, I bump my temperature just a little bit. I stay in the silver stuff a lot. I like it. The white overcooks and my layers aren't too great
That's what
with
it
the
is.
white.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so what happens is my layer, I get like if I printed this vertically, I'd get little striations in my layers because it overcooks and squishes out too much. But like this stuff at this temperature, I think I'm printing 210, 205. I don't remember, but it's perfect temp, perfect temp. So yes, sir. Welcome to 3D printer talk. So what's on the docket first for you at USTE?
They have a dinner,
Yeah. You're like, I'm looking forward to dinner.
so there's a dinner. Now, Thursday is when the vendors and everybody come in and set up.
Uh-huh.
So
Did you
I'll be
bring your
going in
jacket?
for what?
Your trench coat?
Oh yeah, no, I'm not a vendor, but I will be filming them setting up.
Yeah.
So I will be clamping this probably to a light stand and attaching this battery to it
Oh, time lapse.
and doing a time lapse of people setting up their tents.
Nice.
So,
Nice.
and hopefully,
And use
I don't know if
10
this is the
seconds of that.
stiffest. Well, yeah, so I'm gonna set it to like one picture every minute or something, like because
Uh-huh.
every hour is gonna be a second then.
Right, right.
And if they're setting up for 8 hours, like you can't leave that up forever. So what do you?
Mm-mm.
I'll probably do 30 seconds, and then if I have to speed it up, I will.
Yeah.
So I did 10-second ones in here doing tests and stuff, and that would be minutes of time lapse. I don't need minutes of setup,
Right, right.
or the storage of the files for that. So I think I'll do. I think I have a better chance of it actually finishing if I have it set to
I do 30
seconds.
seconds.
So
Yeah, I would do 30 seconds. And then you could, like you said, then you can speed it up or whatever you need to do. It's easier to crop out parts, all that kind of stuff. So when someone stands right in front of the camera for 20 minutes.
Yeah, no.
As they're setting
it's gonna be up. It's gonna be up on a stand. I bought a light stand. It's not my heaviest one. I had to get one that would fit in a suitcase. So it's just so much. That's the hard part, is like trying to get around. And you already have to walk a lot. I should have brought my golf cart. Like we talked about towing the trailer, and then, but then
you drove down
every
there?
night. Yeah, I'm like, but then every night I'm gonna have to hook up the trailer and then tow the golf cart back and plug it in, and like it's kind of a pain in the butt with everything else I'm already hauling around.
I would say rent a side by side, but I don't know if they're as expensive down there as they are up here.
They're expensive.
Stupid expensive to rent up here, like ridiculously expensive.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be that powerful. Like it just is like a grass field. You have to get from where the tents are to different starting points.
Yeah,
and they're pretty far apart. There's 10. I think 10 courses plus
Nice.
at least 10 courses, and some of them I never made it to. The last year we were here, they were further than we ever made it to get to them. And then when you're on the trails, they're long trails. It's not about like rock crawl and get through it. It's like, they're decent length trails.
Really? That's cool.
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
they're miles. Like, yeah.
How many people show up to an event like this, do you think?
I'm going to guess thousands.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to guess that there's at least 1,000 people.
So like
more.
On those long trails, is there a lot of congestion?
I don't know how many drive trucks, but yeah.
Okay.
Well, so here's the thing. Not everybody's out there doing trails, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they've got a huge vendor area now. I can't even remember the square footage of it now that they're doing, because there's so many vendors this year. So they do a big perimeter, like a square, and so everybody parks around that. Whatever, you go inside of that, and that's where they do check in. Then like Big Squid's there, probably RC Car Action will be there. I heard there's some big names. I don't remember who I thought I heard. There was a T name that I thought was going to be there, and they don't do very many events.
Taco Chop?
Taco Chop, maybe was what it was. But yeah, there's some big names. There's also like RC hobby shops selling stuff.
Yeah.
So people that want to buy. But there's a semi-truck thing in the middle, like this whole course that they build, and they do this whole semi-truck demonstration. And
like
they park them all on
semi-truck. Yeah.
Yep. There's a drift track that they set up.
That's cool.
There's a vintage buggy sand track that they do.
Nice.
And they do monster trucks on it as well. There's a 24 scaler mini course as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there's all this other stuff. Plus there's tents that they have set up where they do like instructional things, like how to weather paint or how to do different things that are like dollhouse,
Yeah.
So you can go and you can learn things. So you're not always just out on the trail. There's just like so much stuff going on. Element RC was there. Who else was there? So John Schultz, I met John Schultz here 3 years ago. I don't remember how long ago it was. And then Team K&K is there usually. Dixieland RC, Operation 11 Charlie, Reefs comes down. I think FMS is going to be there. Furatech, I think, is going to actually be there this year too.
Nice.
Like there's just so many people that are going to be there. So
that's cool. Jem's Hobbies asked if Element's doing something down there. I haven't heard anything about Element doing something down there. Generally, their releases come from Dead Man's Crawl in California,
which they put on, or one of the guys.
Yeah. So I haven't heard, but I haven't had my ear to the ground very much either when it comes to what's happening in the Element RC world. Haven't been on Instagram a whole lot. I put some on there on Saturday, or on Sunday, but I've been tied up doing other things. So,
yeah. Jem's Hobby said they said something about it on 011 RC. Oh, maybe.
When
was cool. That? Was that last night? I didn't get to watch it. We got in, so we made like a trip of this down. We stopped in because I don't drive super well anymore. Like I get like, will I just sleep for a second? Like when I drive, when I'm tired or long, Yeah. And half the time it's like the only time where my body feels like it can sleep, because otherwise I'm just working or doing stuff like.
Right.
And then when I'm driving, it's like, hey, I could sleep right now. And so unless I really get a lot of rest before a trip, I can't go for very long without falling asleep. So there's a good moment in there for somebody.
It's like Harley's. Did you catch that Harley said today in his scale news? He added an inch just for the fun of it or whatever when he was talking about a measurement of something. And I was like, that one's going to be a meme.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So we we went to Indianapolis, and then from there, that was 4 hours, 5 hours. And then we went to my brother's house in Atlanta. Hadn't been there yet. And so his new house, and that was awesome. He has a peacock, a pet peacock.
Why
So
not?
that was,
Why not us?
why not have a pet peacock?
Does your other brother have like a tiger or something?
Funny enough, it came with the house. Like when they bought the house,
of
they
course
bought a
it did.
peacock.
Of course it did. The old owners were like, "F this peacock noise." Like, oh my
It sounds like
goodness.
Affleck.
They are so annoying. My parents' neighbors had one years ago, and I was just like, like it's so annoying.
Yep. So he has a beautiful peacock that he was worried about. Funny story. Like this is random. Okay, off our seat for a second.
Yeah.
So he also has a nice new Corvette, like not the mid one, the last one before they went mid motor. Because his boss had it and was selling it. It wasn't his boss. He worked somewhere else, but he worked doing freelance stuff for this guy. He was going to get the new one. Sold to him for a song. Awesome deal. I would have bought it if it had been offered to me for that price.
Yeah.
And then, but so it's cold. Like they were getting that cold snap, I don't know, 4 weeks ago, something like that in Georgia. People down south would know they were getting it. And they were worried about the bird freezing. And so they got like, he spent all this money on little heaters for it, like outside, but it was still shivering. And so they let it through the house and they put up all these barriers so it would walk into the house and then go out into the garage where it could stay warm. Well, he also set up like barriers trying to keep it away from his Corvette. Anyway, somehow something happened. Oh, one of the people accidentally let their little kitten out in the garage, spooked it. It went flying on his Corvette, up hanging on the perched up on the garage door thing above it's just shedding stuff all over it. Oh, it was not fun. Anyway, random off topic story.
That's
There's
crazy.
A lot more with that peacock and craziness.
It's like
I'd let it freeze.
I know how to keep it warm. It's called a deep fryer, and then
right.
You're like
had it an inch out of habit. That was it.
Yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. Okay, they said something about on Operation 11 Charlie. It's a giveaway truck they did a few weeks ago. The rep from Element. So it's one of his rigs that he's raffling off, I think, or doing something for them.
Okay.
I think that's what it is. Because he was trying to get rid of a bunch, remember?
Yeah.
He was trying to pare down his rigs.
Yep. He was
GEE, Eclectic Electric.
Oh, I said electric last time. That's funny. I was like
Eclectic Electric.
Yep. That's cool. That's cool that they're raffling one off or doing whatever it is that they're doing. Very neat.
I don't know if they're going to be there, if they just sent it to them and they're going to do something at the event. I don't know. I haven't seen any lists or.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to try and pop over there tomorrow and just see what's. Well, I want to get a lay of where things are and where the sun is. How it's moving for the afternoon, mainly for the.
That's killing me today. I went out and tried to do some video of my trucks on my yard, and this time of year is the worst time of year for light right now. It's like in my yard, it just skips over, kind of like it doesn't really. It's all flat gray light because of our trees and stuff, and I'm like, ugh. In the summertime, it lights up like a lot.
See, I personally love that kind of light. All these RC people love hitting it with bright light and whatever. I love even shadowed, like in the shadows, but bright, just smooth, clean.
Yeah, see, mine's
I
just
love that light.
It's gray though, is the problem. And so it gets, when I get gray in my backyard, the contrast gets so muddy because it's so dark.
Because of the gray, yeah.
And so it's like, even if I try to change my white balance, it's still not very. I'm not out there with a gray card or anything, but I'm like,
Yeah, it's not this. Maybe I do the cloud one. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's mainly because of like interviews and stuff, people's eyes and stuff. You don't get the shadows. Anytime you've got overcast, it's like
Yeah. Yeah. Even light, which is not. Yeah.
even. Yep.
Yep.
But
I'm
I
really
think
contemplating moving my desk around here. I've been really thinking about it, but I don't know if I have enough depth in my little area that I have as my studio area. But I was thinking about doing it and putting 18 inches against this back wall here where I would put all the cars down low, like
mhm.
in racks down low so you don't see them when we're talking, but then making a mountain scene. And that would be all across. This is like probably 16 feet, and just doing a mountain, like, just like a little 24 scale
Yeah,
up and
ups and
back.
downs, and
Yep. Yep. And just having that behind me. I was like,
I've
oh,
been watching so many crawler course builds. People keep sending them to me ever since I did that video saying,
yeah.
"Hey, we're doing it."
Yep.
And when I get back, that's priority number one. Well, USTE video is priority number one.
Yep.
But while I'm working on that, in the moments where I'm not building that, because I need to be making my own content on top of that at the same time,
Right.
I'll be working on finishing that up, or at least getting it more drivable so I can be running on it and changing things last minute if I want to.
Yep.
So yeah, but I've been watching a ton. There's so many different cool techniques for a lot of things.
Yeah.
The one thing that I keep seeing in most of the videos that people send me, which is awesome for like scale diorama looks, is there's a lot of bridges and there's a lot of narrow, like single pathways up that kind of bridge over things.
Yeah.
And then there's a lot of cool depth and stuff for their course design look, like as
But you're
a
stuck with it.
dollhouse.
Yeah, but you're stuck
But
with
you're
it.
stuck with where you can go, like.
Yeah.
And so it's just the repeatability of it for me is like I'll be done doing it when I'm like
Yeah.
very quickly. I won't be running it anymore. But
I'm
there's other techniques that I'm still taking from it as far as way people. One person had done like the Adobe type outdoor
That's what I want to do. Yeah.
plaster for
Yeah.
theirs, and it
Yep.
looked really good. Another person used deck over stain, the stuff that you use to repair decks that have like a lot of splinters and like gaps and
Oh yeah,
cracks
yeah, yeah.
and all the.
It's
It's
like
really
bed
thick,
liner.
and
Yeah, it's like
it's almost like bed liner.
yep.
So the only thing that I don't want is I don't want the weight of the plaster or the Adobe or the other stuff that it's going to make it heavy.
Yeah.
Um,
You
and
know
so
what
that's what I'm trying to find is like the best of both worlds, where it's like grippy and like helps firm it up, but
yeah.
isn't heavy.
So what I want to try is, have you seen how people make the rocks out of plaster and tinfoil?
No,
So there's two ways of doing it. They take
I have a
tinfoil.
feeling I'm going to be woke up by a video about this at about 3 a.m. I'll
so
watch it, and then I will
so
not go back to sleep.
so they make like basically a vessel, a bowl, like
Yeah.
of tinfoil, and then they pour plaster in there, and then they just
Oh, yeah, yeah,
pull
yeah.
the tinfoil
Pop it
out.
out. Yeah.
But the trick is to get the weight down is you take foam and you
And shove
shave
it in.
the foam into your plaster mix. And so you pour the plaster in and it's got foam in it. So then you're at like 40% foam, 60% plaster on a rock, and it's like
Yeah.
hard and light, and oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
And then you can tint it. Yeah, so it's like, and put sand, all kinds of cool stuff. Like
Yeah.
yeah.
So with paint. Yeah.
Well, you could do
So
that with the plaster too.
yeah. So the paint is something I've thought about, just roller paint with sand in it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's an option.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I'd probably be doing paintbrush because of the way that the hills get all. I
Yeah.
guess you do a really thick nap. I was originally hoping just spray paint it all like I did the last one, but now that I've spray painted the wall indoors, I will not be spray painting anything else indoors ever again.
The other
So
thing
I
that
either have to take those pieces out, which isn't a big deal. I made them so they can be taken out and just spray paint them, or I just get a brush and paint them.
So the other thing that I want to try is, you know how you did your crumpled boxes and then you put your plaster cloth over it? The
You can
thing
do foam too. I just couldn't find the cheap stuff.
Right. Well, the other thing you can do is you could do that, but take fleece and staple the fleece down over that, and then take resin and put your resin, like your boat resin or whatever, and put that over the fleece. But then you can sprinkle in your sand into that before you paint it. And so then your resin or your fleece, however you mold it, gets rock hard, and then it's like super light because it's basically like a plastic sheet form to what you want to do. And that's pretty cool, but it's pretty stinky, but that's like super intense.
They have Granite Look spray paint. So I bought a couple things just because I wanted to do some tests for a video.
Yeah.
I did buy the Granite Look spray paint, and then one of them's like a sandstone color,
Mm-hmm.
and it's got the bumps already in it. So that's
Mm-hmm.
one thing. And I don't actually want the whole course to be bumpy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, because I like that some of it's slick. Like, you don't want it to all be high traction.
Right.
Because it just simulates different types of material. So, but I also bought the stuff that they use for like ceilings.
Yeah. Popcorn ceiling
That kind of
texture.
popcorn. Yeah. So I thought I'd try that and see if,
Yeah.
when spray painted, if it would firm up enough that it wouldn't all flake off and roll away. Because
I was trying so hard to get out to our local hobby town this weekend because they have a nice track or 24 scale course. And I really wanted to get out there. I got tired. I was like, because I need to I haven't seen many videos of that place. So I was like, I got to take a video of this place out there.
As people are saying, Mod Podge and dirt, and I would do that as at the last part, like, and I won't do the whole thing that way.
Yeah.
So there will be sections, because even that, as you drive on it, it's just sand and dirt and glue. It just starts to come out, wear out. But that's anything that you're going to put on, any sand and paint, whatever. All of it's eventually going to just.
Kevin Gibbs goes, they have Granite Look spray paint. Oh yeah. Yep. And there's a couple of them, and there's one that is better than the others, that it actually comes out more textured. And I don't remember the name of it.
So I bought the textured something effects.
Yeah, it's
Rust-Oleum effects.
Yeah,
Rust-Oleum
one of them comes out and it's like a smooth, it's not smooth, but it's like a 80 grit sandpaper. And then one of them you spray it and it's like there's chunks in it. Like it comes out and it's actually like more inconsistent.
Yeah.
In a good way.
Model train ballast is the expensive way to do it. It works. That's Brian Koshner.
No, what is model train ballast?
I believe it's the like the rock type texture or dirt stuff that they do. Yeah. It's their like small rocks in a jar. It's like $15 for a little container that's like
just crush up
this size of rocks.
Yeah. Just crush up some cereal. Some Cheerios. Yeah. Let it sit out and
no, I mean it's actually like rock material. It's nice.
Yep.
And I will probably do that on my
aquarium gravel
on the mountain hill.
That's a good idea. Aquarium
gravel could work.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, if you can find if you do it before you paint. But again, the whole thing is getting that stuff to stay in place.
Dude, you know what'd be sick? If you took the opalescent, like clearish gravel and put some LEDs underneath it and then resined it all down, and it's just you're like driving over this like colorful fairyland.
Yeah.
That'd be rad. That would be super cool.
Yeah.
You look like you're about to pass out.
That's a good one. Who?
You look like you're about who else am I talking to?
I'm reading the comments.
I said you look like you're about to pass out, and you're like, who? Me?
I thought you were reading a comment. Hey, I'm trying to read it. I didn't bring my glasses in. Grout is something I looked into as well, Brian.
Yeah.
That was one of the first things, but that gets really heavy.
So that's what I'm planning on using outside. My dad came over today, and I was grilling some steak, and out on my deck overlooks my racetrack and my rocks and stuff. And he came over on Saturday. So real quick, Saturday when I was playing around with the different trucks in our yard, I was also testing my new microphones, and I'm hoping that they just crapped out because my battery was super low, like about to die, and it wasn't powering the unit enough.
Oh, probably, yeah.
And I'm assuming that's what it was.
How far away from it were you?
I was on top of it. I was just on top of it. Yeah. I had my camera on a stick and I was standing on it. So I think it was that my phone was, I mean, it was dead. It was like low power mode dead. So.
Oh yeah. So it's not going to give you Bluetooth or.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, well, but anyways, so he came over and crawled with me this weekend and we were talking about it, and I was looking at my backyard, and I'm really torn, man. I'm really torn if I'm going to keep it a racetrack or not. Like because I might just do rocks. Like the problem is my kid is too, like, the cars we're into now are much faster. We're much better drivers, and it's kind of too small.
Kind of boring for him now.
Yeah. I mean, it's a lot of fun, but compared to driving 10 minutes down the street in the summer where we can just jump on a full-size track, it's like, you know what I mean? Like it's kind of, it's tough. And we're not out there in the wintertime much. So I'm like, do I do that? I thought about making the track very narrow and then buying some 14B reflexes or buying some mini Bs or even some rally cars.
You got right there.
Well, that one's probably going to be too fast, but like, you know, something that's like what would it be? Like the Tamiya rally cars or something like that, and just rally racing around. And I thought that would be fun, kind of door to door stuff. And then I can have more rock islands and things in the track where, you know, there's crossovers and stuff. But
yeah,
I don't know. I'm really torn on it. Like it's not keeping me up at night, but it's borderline keeping me up at night. So like, because I really want to like do something fun back there again, where we could just, the thing that I really loved was coming home from work and like my neighbor would come over, my kid would be out there, and we would be racing for like 2 hours, you know, and it's just, but he's just so much better of a driver now. So it's like, it'd be fun, but I don't know how much more fun it would be.
Does he do he does the crawler with you, but so the same thing is you don't have to go far to have really awesome crawling either. So
no, but
it's kind of like, how do you choose?
Yeah, and because we're doing this thing where, dude, I got to catch up quick. That's why I was trying to get out this week. I'm at 10 miles right now for January, and I haven't done any miles in February. So I need to catch up and get my 10 miles in ASAP.
Yeah. I was just thinking too, it would be great for doing test stuff between, like with your builds, and say, here's what I'm going to go test out on the trail. We're giving a quick shakedown here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, not only that, but what I'm thinking is, so what we were doing is I had a video that I called a trail challenge when it was me and my kid, and we were playing follow the leader, and it did pretty well. And so I tried setting up gates this last weekend when me and my dad were doing it. And so I was like, you know, I think if I did that and we just set up gates and had fun doing it, that would be good, fun content. And we have enough crawlers where we could drive a different crawler a lot, you know what I mean, and get out there and do it. So it'd be pretty fun. Backyard crawling, much more beer and barbecue tempo, which is nice. Yes, it is.
Yeah, agreed.
It is. It's
mine isn't that big of a space though, but I think we're going to expand our area.
Mm-hmm. Going to buy out your neighbors. You're like,
it's for sale.
oh, is it?
And I really want that. They technically own that whole ravine downside of our, which would be amazing for crawling. There's already, like, I thought when we were in there, like we had all the way to the water. Like there's the ravine that goes between this little creek or whatever runoff thing that goes out to the river. I just figured we would own the one side of that and they'd own the other, but they literally own all of it right to the bottom of the hill, like from our driveway down.
It's not like they would care if you got down there. It's not
These
like
ones wouldn't, but you don't know about the next ones, you know.
See, that's
a question mark.
That's what you do. What my neighbors did before we got there. So my neighbors, our house isn't a big lot. Like it's not a very big lot. It's kind of that's what's funny about having a racetrack in our backyard and a crawling course is that like our neighbors can look over their fence and be like, "Oh, cool, you guys are driving today," you know, like that kind of thing. But and we're super good friends with our neighbors. But
yeah,
when we moved in, they had railroad ties that were over on our property, like 16 inches, and it's been one of those things where I'm like, guess what? That 16 inches is 16 inches too short for me to drive it's 8 feet to get a car on the side of my house. And I'm like, but I'd have to take out their blueberry bushes if I got my 16 inches back. So I'm like, and they're like, oh, it's fine. Go ahead and do it. You know? And I'm like, I don't want to be that guy, you know, and just like take out your blueberry bushes.
But. Yeah. The thing is, there's a whole, like, what is it? The 7 years thing though. If it's been in, they can pretty much squatters right it.
Yeah. Harley's in the house. He says, buy it.
I think I should just do the squatters' rights. I should build and just maintain that part of the yard.
Yeah. Yep. Hey, you kids, quit crawling in my ravine.
Right. There's so many rocks. So we already go down and in there because there's a cool little bridge and stuff. And there's this whole rocky area that goes, and it actually goes under the road. Like it's a pretty busy road in front of our house. And so there's a whole, what is it called? The
pipe, the drain
the
pipe.
pipe, yeah, whatever but huge, like so deer can go through it. It's made so that the deer won't cross the road, so it's tall, you know, like you just kind of duck and you just walk through.
Yeah.
So
you come out the other end like Schmeagol.
Yes, yeah. Like there's so much stuff, but the rocks down there would be awesome for crawling in, and there's water running through it, and not deep. Well, depends when. 3 days ago with the snow melt and the rain, it was really flowing.
It was a gusher.
But yeah. So, but yeah, it'd be awesome. Yeah. But the house next door is selling for like $1 million, so I don't think we're gonna be buying that.
Wow. Yeah.
Not even updated. We're looking at that like, who would pay $1 million for that? I mean, it's on the river, but shoot.
Yes. That's crazy.
Culvert, thank you. He worked in planning and roads and stuff. So.
Civil engineering.
Yeah, civil engineering. Thank you for that word help as well.
Yeah. Harley, did you see the nice bearing nod on the cover art for this thing to make sure that you knew that I knew that you had bearings on the Phoenix RTR? I even free distorted them so that they fit to make it look like it was the right perspective.
It shows it so small. That's the only bummer.
I know.
Well, what happened?
You broke it.
Trying to zoom in on the page. Oh, I see the bearings of the wheels.
Yeah.
That's funny.
There you go.
That's really hard to see, though.
You
should have made it less subtle than that.
Less.
Had bearings as the whole tire and everything.
Yeah.
This one comes with ball bearings.
In case you
may not be able to go anywhere.
Yeah. They're drift
awesome
wheels.
Staying in place.
They're drift wheels with sparks. Yeah.
Want to look cool and go nowhere at the same time? Dude, down here, I feel like I'm in Texas a little bit. Because
The big
It's
trucks.
just big trucks with the ring lights around the brake, the whole
the
disc
fifth wheel.
in there.
Right? Those, yeah.
Yeah, and then they've
The
got
caliper.
underglow and the caliper lights and yeah.
That's funny. He says your intro about the bearings was perfect.
I had so many takes on that, man. I should just do a hot take of them all because I had about 10 different options to choose from about one, building a kit.
Yeah.
Or not building it, having to build a
RTR.
kit after I just built their kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, like where was this one a couple months ago, huh? I don't know. There's several. I finally like, some of those are a little over the top.
Yeah.
So we'll just. And I just cut in the bearing part from a different one. Like I mixed a couple of different ones because, each one had too many over the top bits. So I just toned it down. I had to save some of it for the king.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Even that I toned down. I cut out a whole section on that one.
A little too spicy, huh?
A little too spicy, I think. I'm like, maybe not. Because some people really don't realize this isn't fake.
Right.
So, yeah.
That's funny.
But no, it's an amazing car. Like I said, it's what I brought to USTE. Super dollhouse, out of the box.
Yeah. Pretty rad. Yeah.
Yeah. And I brought my minis. I was only going to bring one mini, and that's all I was going to bring.
And 12 more followed you.
I ended up bringing the Vanquish. I brought at least 2 minis. I brought my green one, the Creep one, and then I brought the X24
with the Ecto body. Did you put it? Yeah.
It looks really good. I think. Not everybody's gonna love it because I hacked the crap out of it.
It's pretty chopped up. Yeah,
it's pretty chopped.
Yeah.
In fact, in the back, it's even got an extra chop line. Whereas I decided, so I chopped up to where I was going to go, and I started coming from the backside. I'm like, oh, what if I round it? Oh, I like that better.
Yeah.
But I already had the cut line up, and I'm like, it's just like a quarter of an inch. Most people won't see it.
Quarter of an inch on a 24 scale. Massive.
No regrets.
Brian, see, he goes, he has to take at least one to put on his pillow next to him at night. Feels just like
I didn't see how many I brought. Well, see, what I did was I was smart because I was already bringing so many bags of camera gear. And I said, well, we're going to go buy these yellow bins. And we each get to fill it. And because they stack right in the back of my truck.
Right.
So then I got one too that I got to fill with just toys because, So, I did sneak in. I snuck in a Traxxas too. So I got that one on the Phoenix. Got my little CalRC mat, my drone, and I think I have a new tool in here because I left mine at Jeff's. I got the new DSM off-road winch line, and I got my
nice.
This is the Pure Teched Out one. I brought this one because my son grabbed the Jurassic Park one. They each had to bring one.
Oh yeah.
And he took my Jurassic Park one. I was like, dang.
I seriously contemplating today going and buying one of those, either Broncos or the Defenders in red, for my kid for Valentine's Day today. And I was like, it's kind of a big Valentine's Day present. So I was like, I didn't.
I did make a trench coat as well.
You're gonna be selling stuff out of your bin.
Out of my bin, my truck. They can all come over to my Airbnb.
You're gonna just peg them all up on the wall. Be like, come into my
pop-up. The address. Hand out a little sheet of paper. that says, "Meet me here at
You
this
can
time."
hire some people that have the little pieces of paper and they're like and handing them out to people.
Yeah.
Uh,
The funny thing is, like where we are, like it's not the nicest area of town.
but where they film Scarface, clearly.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, yes. And when we come in, they have black metal fencing all the way around, and it's like the corrugated metal that they've painted black,
Uh-huh.
and then it's got a big padlock and chain wrapped around the handles of it. So every time we come in and out, to go out and open the stupid padlock,
Yeah.
drive in, go back out, shut the gates, padlock it back up. It's a pain in the butt.
That's so
But I think it's more that they don't want their stuff to get, like they've got like it's kind of cute. It's like,
cute.
I mean, check this out. But they got nice, you know,
That's nice.
granite stuff and mini fridges, and
yeah,
it's this big. Like, so there's that, and then there's like it's a square cinder block house. But yeah, I mean, like you're coming down the road, man. When I coming in the first night, dang, dang, like just had no idea how deep it was under the puddle we were driving over. I mean, it's like a dirt is bad. Like
yeah,
you gotta creep in, which looks super shady at night. Like,
yeah.
and I'm
That's
like, why are these
awesome.
people like creeping through while we got the gates open? I'm like, oh yeah, because the road sucks. You got to creep. Like,
Yeah,
they're not
yeah,
doing it to be shady. It's just like
yeah.
you got to.
That's
But
funny.
yeah, no, it's it's pretty cool though, because they've got like one of those Texas pools or whatever they call it, the rodeo pools. And so like basically a horse trough, like metal from Tractor Supply that's got
Oh yeah,
a
yeah.
full filter and stuff on it, and then it's got a lot of outdoor areas. So yeah, we're just outside of Ocala, Jeff.
Sketchy.
So it's well. So what's weird is 15 minutes that way is like John Travolta's house or something. Like it's all of the big horse farms, like
Oh yeah,
massive homes, right
that's
by
cool.
University of Florida, outside like between Gainesville and Ocala. But like we're in the small town just outside of that. Like the guys that work on those houses.
So have you
I think.
seen many iguanas? And I hate iguanas. I hate
Really?
iguanas.
I haven't seen any.
I hate iguanas. They've creeped me out, man. I don't know why. I just don't like their talons or whatever, or like claws. Ugh.
Yeah.
I saw a show. It was like Dirty Jobs, where there was the guys that had the pellet guns, and it was like iguana control, and they're just walking around the city, basically like a residential area,
Yeah.
just taking out iguanas. And I was like, that, my friend, is a job for me. Like, I would love to do that. Like, I think that'd be.
Iguana killer.
Oh, dude, I think that would be so much fun. Like just to
They'll
walk.
tail whip you as well. It's David Ferris.
Oh my goodness,
I think iguanas are cool, man.
No, no,
Bearded dragons.
they're green rats, is what they are. Big green rats. They're
Okay.
terrible. Ugh.
Do you like the little lizards? Like the
I don't
little
mind.
squints and
I don't
stuff?
mind them. Yeah, but the iguanas, like wild iguanas, no, nope,
Hmm.
nope, don't like them.
I actually really like this area, though. I mean, all kidding aside, and like the Williston town where we are is really cool. Like small
Mhm.
town. I think there's like 2,700 people here, something. Or it's not a big city, so
Yeah,
it's got a cool vibe. Very country, like Florida country, which is different. Like the grass where people drive through it, like there's this like off-road park thing or whatever, where there's SU or side-by-side trucks trails along the side of the road,
uh-huh.
but under the grass is sand, right? Everything's
Right.
sandy here, so it's
Yeah,
just totally different type of
yeah.
country than what we have. And I think it's cool. Like it's a little more. I think the thing that we might feel sketchy, whatever. It's the difference. like the way that it overgrows here looks different. It looks a little bit more ragged than the other stuff with the mosses and the way that things get overrun by the um, the greenery here. But I think it's cool.
Well, it's creepy there because in the greenery are those sketchy iguanas and cottonmouths and all kinds of things that'll kill you. How terrible would that be? Gators. How terrible would that be to be attacked by like a mob? I don't know what you call a group of iguanas, but that's like a horror film. Seriously, could you imagine? Like, it'd be like,
you really don't like iguanas.
I hate iguanas. It'd be like Jurassic Park, where those little chicken-like dinosaurs eat the kid. Like, they're gross. I don't know why. I just like, they're not like super scary to me. I just like, this sounds extreme, but it's like they're a very puntable animal to me. Like,
you punt. Man punted Baxter.
You punted Baxter. I want a glass case of emotion. Yeah. Killed by a group of iguanas. Have you seen that new movie coming out called Cocaine Bear?
Yeah.
Probably filmed where you were. That's probably where it was filmed.
Is that the Winnie the Pooh one?
No, that one's pretty bad too. No, Cocaine Bear has a bunch of. It's got like Ray Liotta in it, and a couple. I think Ray Liotta was in it. A couple other guys are in it, and it's about in the 80s when people were throwing out bales of cocaine, and then a bear got a hold of one and got addicted. It's pretty funny. You got to see the trailer. It's like, wow, people funded this.
Dude, people fund crazy stuff.
Kevin Gibbs goes, new Olympic event, iguana punting. It's good.
I think you should do like a shot put with them. We grab them by the tail and spin, and
or see how far you could throw them like a football.
Man, so when we were at the Monster Jam World Finals in Orlando, we kept parking. Like, they'd have us park, and we drive all into the back, right where we were running the truck. And so it was like backstage of the event. And then, certain days they parked like right by this pond. And I'm like, people are like backing in, so they have to go around their car to the backside by the pond and get their stuff out. And I'm like, nah, like, I ain't doing that. I will run over somebody backing out before I'm gonna go keep going to the back of my car next to that pond. They're like, what's the problem? I'm like, dude, it's freaking gators. If there's water, there's a gator in there. Like, and they're like, there's no gators in here. I kid you not. The last day we're there, there's a gator control.
Oh, nice. Nice.
At the pond. I was like, what was that, guys? Gator.
Tanker.
There's a gator in there.
Tanker T68 says, my buddy in Lakeland said there's little monkeys that terrorize the neighborhood.
Somebody was telling us about an island of monkeys here, and like that they used them for filming something, and then they just left them, and they now
colonized the island.
Yeah.
Wow.
Or if you go off that island, there's monkeys on it. They can't get off the island, but they're on it. So
yeah. KLN says, hates iguanas, but will go alone in the woods with a cocaine bear. Just saying. I like to party. Dave Fair says, my aunt and uncle's dog was eaten by a gator. So I have
a cat that I can give to your aunt and uncle. Hold for me for a few days.
I have a story, and I'll try to illustrate this story quickly, but related to that. So my parents went on vacation. My parents and my sister, little sister at the time was probably 12.
They leave you the keys to the brand new Porsche?
No, but a house sat for them, and they had a blue heeler dog and a teacup poodle, like the little rat poodle dog. And they lived out in the hills on like 4 acres, right? And so their property was like flat, and then it rolled up on a hill, and then rolled up on another hill. So the fog would settle down in there, and we had like 2 inches of snow, and the dog wanted to go out. So I walked out with the dog. It's at nighttime, and I know there's animals out here, right? So the dog, that the blue heeler, her name was Ella, she'd get down, right? So I'm like, I'm not worried about being out with animals. I had my knife, so I'm not worried about getting with animals. And then all of a sudden, the little dog, Miley, yelps, and I hear growling, and like I click my knife out and I start walking, because the hill is like, imagine darkness, but lit up by a little bit of snow and fog bank into the hill, and you hear yiping and growling. And so I'm like, I click my knife out, and my other dog beelines up to it and stops and just growls, and I couldn't see what was going on. And I was like, she gone. And I walked back into the house, and I was like, sorry, Miley never came back. Like, it was brutal, dude. And I had to tell my sister, I was like, oh, I got a bad story for you.
That didn't end how I thought it was going to end.
No. I was like, she gone. Yep. So nothing was left, dude. Nothing was. I went out the next morning. Nada. So there's bear out there, there's coyotes, and there's cougars. And so I was like, once I got to a certain point where I knew I couldn't outrun it, I was like, I'm out. I think what got the dog, they had a couple cubs out there, I know, and I couldn't see it, but we found there's bear poop out there. And then we couldn't hear the coyotes at the time, but yeah. So I'm pretty sure it was a bear that got it. And I was just like, I'm out. I was like, sorry about it. So I had to break the news to my sister. Oh, by the way, your dog got eaten. Sorry. I heard the whole thing. I was like, it was bad because it's like, I had like a, I know, right? Like, had I had a sidearm with me, I would have like gone further, but the other dog was like not having it, and I had my knife out, and I was not having, and I was like, is it worth a 3-pound poodle? Nah. Turn right back around. Yep.
Wow. We joke about our cat being called eagle meat, but I would actually feel very terrible if he actually got eaten by the eagle. That's just when he annoys me,
Yeah,
and wakes me up at 3 a.m. or 6 a.m. wanting to go out or whatever. I'm like, go play with the Eagles.
it was a pretty
Seagull
distinct.
mango.
It was a pretty distinct sound when I heard it happen, and I was like, yeah, I'm not helping that one. So it's pretty
Man,
gross.
that's awful.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, that healer, those things usually are nippy, man.
Your co-host should be on a list, Tony. Just saying.
Shoot.
Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah, I joke about it too because my wife is at the point where she's like, you can't get any more cats until one of them goes.
Until one of them's gone. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'm like, well, I like this one a lot. Like Gandalf stands.
Yeah.
But that orange one, like,
yeah.
Meat, you know, we're not the best of buds.
Yeah.
But she's like, I mean, she's like, 2 cats is fine, but like 3 cats, you become like the cat person. Like,
yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
See, my dog.
I really want a Maine Coon though, like one of the big, like the ones that look like a lion. They've got it's they call it smoke. It's like gray, like dark black with a gray undercoat, and so like when their hair parts is gray, but they get this like mane around their neck that's gray, and the rest is kind of like a black.
Yeah,
and they look sick. But
my dog now is pretty rad. She's like the best mom dog, but she's a Louisiana Catahoula dog, Catahoula leopard dog. I don't know if you've ever heard of those dogs before. their initial breed was to hunt wild boar, and so
Wow.
they're
No
like,
RCs around that dog.
no, she's smart. She did like she got into one once and that was it. But like she's like a really smart shepherd cattle dog, but they're big. So the males are like 100 pounds. The females can be like 60 to 80 pounds. She's a female. She's probably 70, 65 pounds. She's smaller, but she's like, you know how some blue heelers are just like stacked. They're just like built. And she's, yeah, she gets down. She's cool. She's like
That's
super
awesome.
chill. 2 different colored eyes. So she looks like, you know,
Those are awesome. Yeah.
yeah. So she like stares at you and just looks at you, and you're like, are you thinking about eating me? Or are you thinking like, what are you thinking? Like you can't, you know, and it's like, yeah, Kevin Gibbs says great hunting dogs. Yeah, she's rad. So when we go,
Well, my buddies has one.
yeah, we go hunt or not hunting, camping, and she's
Chubbs Peterson. Alligator.
That's Chubbs. Got my hand. Yeah, but she's cool. Like she's a total awesome guard dog, but she's almost like a therapy dog. Like anyone that walks in the shop door, she goes to the shop with me every day. Anyone who walks in the shop door, she'll like go up to them and read them. And like older people, she'll like totally get all slow and soft into them and let her pet them. Like she's totally rad. Sleeps on both my kids' bed, just goes back and forth all night long. Like she's cool. But yeah, she could get down. She's a big
My
dog.
kids wake up tired for some reason. I have no idea why.
Yeah. Yeah. No, but it's cool how she gets down because she's like, she'll let you know. And she's one of those dogs that'll like, I trained her so that the kids, they could be across the park and put their hand up and yell for her and yell Lucy. And she will like look and pin her ears back and beeline at the kid. Like just nothing gets in her way, just a missile right at the kid. But at first it was funny because she had horrible brakes. So she could not stop. And I have video, I think I posted it on Instagram like a couple of years ago where she came barreling into the shop and she couldn't stop and she hit the door. She just said like, bam. And there's a big steel door in my office. And she just was like, I mean, like a steel door, like I made the steel door, like it's like 4 feet wide. And she just, bam, hits the door. I was like, well, slow down. Like you'll learn. Oh, I lost all your audio.
Already talked about a peacock. Bears. Dog being eaten.
Iguanas. Jurassic Park
Fishing
little
earlier.
Animal. Yeah.
Jurassic Park little. We might as well talk about my son got bit by a pelican today. So that happened.
He's gonna be scarred for life now.
Oh no, he knew it was coming because he was over where they were cleaning the fish that we caught, and so all the pelicans know this is the cleaning station, and so they're just waiting for free food.
Yeah.
And so one of them, we'd already been warned, the one that hisses is mean. Like there's a brown one that hisses and he's mean.
Yeah.
And it actually came up and bit our fishing guide in the back of the leg. And then he grabbed it by like the beak, took it, like not through it, but walked it to the edge where it jumped into the water on its own.
Yeah.
And it came back up later, and my son was kind of like trying to push it away or whatever, and he got bit by it too. But he wanted to in a lot of ways. So, but what reminded me of that was the hitting the door, like not seeing it. One of the pelicans. So they're all coming in. Like the fish come out onto the station. They're coming and landing like out of everywhere. You're pattering up on the metal roof. Someone would fly down. One of them tried to fly down and land on the deck we were on and smacked into the side of the deck. Didn't quite make the stick the landing.
Oh no!
Smacked into it and fell into the water. And we laughed at him. Later on, he tried to fly up out of the water and hit it. It felt like again. Someone's depth perception was not off on that little guy. It was too funny. 3 times he did that. The 4th time he eventually, this is over like 30 minutes. About 30 minutes later, he finally made it up. He smacked it, but he was able to like keep himself up and make it on.
Yeah.
But
in the background yelling, mine.
Yeah, mine. And there's one that was broke jaw. They called me, had a broken snout. He was the one that was getting all the extra attention. He got a lot of food, but it was too funny.
That's hilarious.
I have to make a video on it all. I got tons of video. It won't go on this channel, but yeah.
Right on.
But yeah, I'm excited about USTE. I'm excited to get going. I need to finish up a crawler video and that other project video. I've been trying, I'm trying to motion track graphics to this video. And man, I'm not having luck. Not in Final Cut. I'm going to have to use After Effects. It's just going to really suck. It's going to slow the whole project down that every video have to. So I'm going to have to cut the whole thing and then take it to After Effects and add so I want to do like little call outs that track the motion on something.
Yeah.
And I can do it in Final Cut, but it's just not as smooth. And so it's like jittery. It doesn't feel like it's locked on. Where in After Effects, I can literally pinpoint something and have it basically, it kind of gets an idea of what that shape is.
Yeah.
And then you just play it through and it'll track it. And then you can apply that tracking to whatever it is that you want to follow that path. We had to do that, and then the Need to Breathe video I shot for the car license plate to map a new license plate on it. And you can't even tell. But yeah, so I just have this little call out that I want to do. But I want the words to stay in the same spot, but I want the little line that goes to it to kind of follow it as it moves.
Yeah, I know what you're feeling. Yeah.
So I tried it, and it's just, and partly it's the footage off my, Sony camera I have is so bloated for it. XD cam files on a laptop are just chugging. So I'm having to do proxies, which is going to take all night.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
then I'll be able to try and motion track some of that stuff on. And
I just got an alert on this laptop that the hard drive's getting full. And I was like, And I've been offloading a lot of the stuff, but I haven't been pulling it down. And so I probably have 200 gigs of footage on there that I haven't yet pulled down. And I have a couple big ones that I haven't finished editing that I'm like, I just got to get this done so I can pull it off and try to get it down. I run. Is that a new one? Yeah, I run one too.
All the time. I work right off it.
Yeah.
Well, technically, I work off an SSD one and then dump them to here as soon as I'm done.
Yeah.
Because the SSD fills up too. So as soon as the project's done, I grab the whole folder and sling it over. But I do.
So you keep your raw.
Year.
You keep your raw video.
I keep everything. I have about 15 to 20 of these for my RC stuff. I have a lot of them.
That's crazy.
So, yeah. And every year gets a new one or two.
The USB-C ones on the Mac are so nice. They're so much faster now than they used to be.
Yeah, but the spin rate is still only, I think on these little ones, only 5,200 RPM.
Oh, I don't use those. I use the SSD ones.
Yeah, you have to do the SSD. But so those are expensive. So I edit on those and I store them on these. But I'm not actively using all the time.
Yeah.
But on this trip, I didn't bring my SSD, unfortunately. So I will be. I bought for USTE to literally just drop all the footage onto.
Mm-hmm.
But I will eventually move it over. I'll probably just do it in proxies and then edit it in proxy. And then, because proxies don't take up that much space because they're just really lightweight video files that are like 50% of the size and super easy for the computer to work with. So you can not have it slow down trying to figure out. Trying to do this video, like the first 15 seconds is like play and then you wait at pinwheels for like 30 seconds, which is weird. Mm-hmm. I never have that issue because I use this all I use is my laptop. But with this Sony stuff, the resolution, everything we shot, it's just like killing the computer. It's like, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. And then it's dropping frames and you're just like, son of a. And I'm trying to motion track, and you can't because you can't keep things up smooth. So it's like,
yeah. I had a video that skipped bad, and that was the video that I posted that I said actually got good traction of me and the kid playing Follow the Leader. I had one clip in there that was bothering me, and I couldn't get it to smooth out. And it was nothing. I mean, I don't know if it was just capture or what, but it was like it dropped a couple frames, and it was just like I rendered it, and I was like, oh, seriously? Like, you know, and then I'm like, well, I'm not going back for this, but it's frustrating when that happens.
Well, this will, when it renders, will play fine, but it's just like every little change you make then it has to re-render everything. And I don't, with Final Cut, you can usually just play through it anyway. But with these files, it just will not. And I've closed everything. It's the only thing operating on it is this software right now.
Yeah.
And it's just like,
hey,
it's because I was cataloging stuff to this. It's weird, but yeah.
On yours, your lavalier Bluetooth ones, did you get the one that has this with the adapter for the lightning port, or did you get the one just for the lightning port?
Straight lightning port.
Okay. So I got this one.
I wanted a quick one.
I got this one because nowhere did I find if it would work with the GoPro.
Mm-hmm.
And I still haven't tested it with the GoPro yet, because even with the door, I think we were offline when I was showing you, even with the door open, it didn't fully get in.
Pull the door off.
Yeah, but it didn't fully get into the port. But if it'll work off the GoPro, that'll be a game changer for me, because then I could plug that in and get. That's the problem, is that I'm also filling up the hard drive with the files off my phone versus filling it instantly, you know, dropping it onto an external that I can work off of.
Yep.
So that's what's killing it big time for me.
But how's it going from your phone to your computer?
AirDrop.
Oh, we'll just AirDrop it and then move it to a hard drive and delete it off your computer.
I do, yeah. I mean, I do that for the most part.
Okay.
But the problem is that it, even when so it's shared through the iCloud.
Media management can be a beast, man.
Yeah, because it's shared through the iCloud, so it eats up my iCloud storage regardless. So I've been going through and deleting them off my phone after they're on the hard drive. So it's like you're deleting twice, 2 or 3 times before it gets onto the hard drive. And I'm almost at the point now. I'm at the point right now where I'm like, you know what? The footage I'm taking is good, but I know it's going to be better later. So I'm not worried about purging the footage unless it has people in it.
You can, for most of it, you can download too from YouTube and stuff now. If you have TubeBuddy, you can download the files.
Yeah. So, well, I'm keeping the final render, but I'm talking all the support files. So if I have an hour of support video and I edit it into a 20-minute video or whatever, then I'm keeping
it's the unboxing that I don't keep that stuff. Like,
yeah.
Unboxing ones, but well, it depends. Some of them I do, but most of them I don't.
Well, see,
and I can just pull that stuff right from, because I don't use the I don't usually put music under those. So if I need straight audio or whatever from it for visual, it's usually not a big deal.
For me, I have so much extraneous video from holding the video going as we're walking, hiking, and crawling. There's so much of that video that I don't want all that. No. And so once I edit it, it's good enough. Like, so it's like, get rid of it kind of a thing. So hopefully that's
one thing that we used to do is you can left channel all of your talking dialogue, right channel all of the music or whatever, or just don't put music on it, but left channel your talking, right channel the natural sound, B-roll sound. And that way you have a split left and right. So you can actually literally separate those and do each of them mono, and then it'll be in both sides. But you can adjust the volumes of them independently.
Nice. Yeah.
So, or you can get rid of one completely. So if you ever just want to be able to take like sound bites from it, a piece that you can use in a video, like a 10-year whatever video, you got them. So we would ditch a lot of the other stuff, but we always kept what we called an edit master and an audio master. The edit master didn't have the music applied, and it just had the levels split left and right. all talking went left, all nat sound went right, and then we knew what the music was because it was in the folder, so you could always grab it and replicate the music.
Right.
But,
and you did that in Final Cut?
Yep. Or any software for the most part. You just go to your audio track and just say pan left. Just pan hard left all of your talking pieces. So export it normal, and what we do is just duplicate your sequence at the end. And usually it's before it goes to audio sweetening anyway. So like you'd lock your edit, so you're done editing,
right?
And then we would lock the edit, we'd export it, channel left, channel right, and then we always would send it away. Yeah, so we just pan left all the talking, pan right all the B-roll clips, and then we'd send it away. And then the audio guys would just straight take the OMF file, whatever, we'd send them, and they'd send us something. We'd, in the end, just mute everything and just stick in the track they'd give us that was synced to the video.
Right.
And then we'd export that as an audio master. But then at that point, you had one that was like, ready for air. And then you had one that later down the road, if they want to grab any of these sound bites, whatever, they don't have to find the raw footage. They just grab that section, piece. They can quickly snip out the parts. It's going to have B-roll maybe overlaid over it, but either they put new B-roll over it or whatever.
Sure.
Mainly they want the audio or the B-roll clips, and they want to be able to get rid of the talking and just be able to use the nat sound again.
Right.
So it's just a trick that we use, and then everything would get like whatever the video is, then EM after it or AM, and then you knew, oh, this one's I can get my audio from.
Right.
But yeah, the more you do it, the more you find little tricks that help.
Yeah.
Even just like now that I've got all my file storage organized, like, so if I looked at mine right now, like, so I'm beyond video 1112. Everyone gets a number. Every new video starts with the number and then what it's about.
Yeah.
So it always puts them in sequence too, and it helps me think too, was that before or after? Okay, it was after that. So it'll definitely show up in my file sequence after that number.
That's how
we also used to put the tags in like on Facebook or whatever. We'd bury a tag like number sign 1112, and then if somebody ever came to us asking for, hey, we need this clip for blah blah blah, we just look at the tags on it and be like, all right, there's the video number. Nice. And we could quickly go to the number in our system and grab it. Right. But it's just that kind of stuff where the more you think through how distribution goes and backup's the worst. But
that's how we have it for our art files. Like we have them separated. It's our design file, then we have our like publish file where we take it to the client, and then we have the different versions of that underneath that, and then we have the production file, and in the production it has like aluminum, composite, glass, like all the different, and so we have them all just broken up, and so we can just go back and fix it or do whatever we got to do when that happens. But it's crazy because it's redundancy is a pain in the butt, but at the same time it also saves your bacon a lot. So
I'd rather have duplicates of stuff.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, that's a hard thing though too for me. Like I said, I'm at that point where I'm not really, I feel like
but it's so disposable now too. So like we were always taught that, like back in the day, we always reuse so much media. Nowadays, I don't hardly reuse anything. I don't go back and do like end of year review of stuff. Like
right.
I'm still working, cranking out new stuff. Like new stuff's coming out. Don't look back.
Yeah, and for me, part of what I'm doing all this for is just to have a digital journal of life. You know what I mean? Like, and that's really, like, I think about that when I'm gone. My family can come and see stuff like this and see videos that we did stuff together, all that kind of thing. And so for me, it's like, I don't plan on taking clips out of things, but when they're videos of like, if it's me and the kids out doing something, I normally save those videos. But if it's us just hiking and we're just, between A and B.
Yeah, one day they're going to be like, how do we plug this thing into these computers? We don't have any plugs
I know.
that look like that.
I know. Yep.
It's like, how do we get this VHS? We don't have VHS anymore. We got these discs now.
Yeah.
What do we do with this tape?
Yep.
It's not going to be any different with these freaking hard drives we got stashes of.
I know. Well, I already have hard drives that are like that had the SCSI port in it, or the whatever, that round port.
The FireWire 400 and 800.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I have a hard drive that I'm like, I really want to get into because it was like some of the first stuff that I did. I can't even power it up and get it onto a computer because it's got old
I bet
interface.
Somebody can if you pay them enough.
Well, I know, but then it's like, then do I pay them enough to have those cool files that fit on a 32 megabyte flash drive back in the day? You know what I mean? Like, is it worth it? I don't think so.
I don't know.
Yep. So, all right, man. I think we should probably wrap it up.
Yeah, I got to wrap because I got to go to bed here.
Yep. I took a transmission apart. Now I got to put it back together before I lose all the parts. So I got to do that. I haven't edited any video for this week. I kind of feel bad about that. I don't know if I should or if I shouldn't. I have a video for the wrap, the final third piece of the wrap series, but I've got to
Nice.
I've got a voiceover on it, so haven't had time to do that. Maybe tomorrow. We'll see. But
well, man, it's been fun. I got a 1:30 a.m. here. Everybody's sleeping on the other side of this.
Yeah.
I don't know if you haven't noticed, but this is a painting. It's not real. So they're not on the other side of the jungle. They're just behind that wall.
Well, hope you get
making sure
whipped in the baby maker by iguana tail.
I hope so too, because it means you won't be anywhere around. You're a sissy.
Yep, I'm scared of